Hey, what's up, yo? It's your boy, Chand Tagdeep. Yogi Chand in the house. Hey, so I'm here to talk to you today about this big 3-letter word that if you're like me and you're living in the West, especially the Midwest, and you're not an active Christian, Muslim, Jewish person, there's a good chance that this 3-letter word might be cringeworthy. What does it mean, cringeworthy? Your body tenses up when you hear it. Cringe, right? This 3-letter word is God. G-O-D. Now I want to talk about something here, because the whole reason this concept of God seems so cringeworthy, I think on the subtlest level, is that it's been manipulated, portrayed in a way that separates humans from nature, right? So here's this God, and he created the heavens and the earth, and the waters, the air, the plants and the trees. Guess what? Created man too. And then he rested, right? But somehow along the way, this message was skewed, right? It was skewed by what, though? And how? So it was skewed essentially to keep us under control. All right, so there was a time and place, and time and space, when it wasn't even kings and oligarchs in charge. It was not a democracy. No, it was actually the church. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Roman Catholics who did this, but you can fact check me and let me know. Especially before the Bible was mass released to the public, the Gutenberg press, the printing press, the thing that allowed us to make books. Before that, all the Bible was held by the high priests, and they got to dictate what it said. And when you have power, you don't want to let go of it. So what do? You create this idea of like God as being this separate thing, this old man in the sky. Oh, and he's gonna punish us, and he's gonna do this and that, and he's watching all the time, and he's the father, and he's the angry father, he's a vengeful father, but he's loving too, right? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of this God archetype that is very true to form, right? But what I'm trying to get at here is what the yogis, right? What they gotta say, what the Sikhs say, right? Like, what is Om? What is Ek Onkar? What are they really getting at here? The Vedics. What the Vedics? This is ancient India. This is pre-Jesus, right? And if I had to guess, I would say that the ancient Judaism texts were onto this too. I've not studied down that rabbit hole too much, but I'm pretty sure most of the world was hip to this for a long time, until there was this separation that came in. And I am still like, where did it come from? But I have a clue that is about control and power, right? But there was an element that came into humanity to separate us, right? To create power hierarchies in a way that doesn't bring harmony. And where did it come from? But I know that it started by separating us from God. Because God is everything, and it is you, and it is me. It flows through us all, right? God is infinity, having an experience through your senses and through my senses. It is the core of who we are. And it is absolutely loving. But as long as we are separated from God, we will suffer. And so many have tried to get this point across. And like, look at Buddha. Even his followers put him on a pedestal to create separation. The enlightened one, oh, you might spend lifetimes and lifetimes trying to be enlightened. Guess what? If you listen to this right now and you adopt this idea that God flows within you and you are not separate from God, you are not separate from nature, you're not separate from the planet, there is no reason to judge, to condemn, or to find yourself higher than someone or something else. That all things are perfect. That life is playing out like a great play of infinity. Like, you will reduce your suffering at least 25%. Maximum 100%. Okay, that's all it takes to get enlightened, is to understand that this is just one big dance. And this body, too. The body, yes. The body feels things, but it is conditioned to feel things in a certain way. And whenever you feel something that's but you can breathe through it, and you can understand and tell yourself, hey, this is just what's happening right now. Just let it move through. It'll be gone. It'll be gone. Don't worry. And it takes practice. Trust me. And intention to get there. But when you can not identify with the feelings that come up within you, but stand back and observe them and gain wisdom from them, man, does suffering reduce? And does your connection with Source enhance? And do things just start to fall into place? Synchronicities increase. And for a while, wow, that's a powerful feeling, because you're like, whoa, that just lined up with that, and 11 and this and that. And it keeps going and going, but it gets to a point where you start looking back and like, I miss that feeling of being excited about synchronicity, because it was so surprising. But I'd rather have this constant kiss of synchronicity flowing through always, right? Being enlightened is not about ego. Being enlightened is recognizing the light that's within you. There is a light within you. That's what guru means. Guru, dark light. There's a light that illuminates the darkness. We all have a guru within, right? And there's these high master gurus, like they came to this infinite reality, like God embodied them to help enlighten people to realize this, so they can spread the word, right? And this is the game that God wants to play, dark and the light. And that's where we're at. But to bring it all home, God is not something separate. You can have trust and you can have faith in God, because that creates trust and faith in you. It creates trust and faith in the world around you. As within, so without. Right? That's an ancient Hermetic principle. Back in the ancient Egyptian days. Anyway, what happens within you reflects in the world around you. You are not separate from that. You are not separate from the people around you. Their pain is your pain. They may suffer through different circumstances, but they suffer just like you suffer, right? And they get to celebrate just like you celebrate. Right? And it's easy to have an automatic reaction to somebody. You cut me off. F you. But then, man, give yourself a good laugh. can't believe I just acted like that. Wow. Is that how I talk to myself? And if I talk to myself that way, then who talked to me that way to get myself to think about myself that way? When you go, oh my God, the thing that created all of this, I am that. Just like that person that cut me off is that too. Wow. What a magical existence this is. It's kind of funny. You know, I bet if they cut me off, they might have been in a hurry. Someone might have been heading to the hospital, or maybe their wife was like having a baby, or maybe they're late for work, and if they weren't going to show up on time, they might get fired. Or maybe they're just like really craving a cigarette, and they should have bought a pack last night, but they went to bed instead, and their tolerance for that is just so low that they gotta rush to the gas station. But you know, how many times do I walk past my refrigerator and just open the door and see what's inside? Like, oh, I'm craving some sweet food. What's in there? Do I need it? No. You know, we all suffer the same in different ways. Right? We all have attachments. We're all living in this dance. And the more we find this compassion, you know, people talk about compassion, but no one really talks about what it is. It is seeing the other within you. It is seeing that we are all God, right? And there's all these spiritual systems that have this beautiful seed that says this, and then people just build walls around it. Walls around it. And the more walls around it, because they want to protect it, they lose the message. Yeah. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of go on a rant, and it's been 12 minutes, 20 seconds. So I just wanted to relay some information that was in me, and yeah, I don't know. I kind of like doing this. Just pick a topic and talk about it. I just get these transmissions, and I usually just journal or keep it to myself. So kind of want to do this more. And just want to state something before we go. Well, there's like 8 billion people on this planet right now, and it's probably the highest the human population's ever been on Earth. But you can go on Google or ChatGPT or whatever and be like, how many human beings have lived on Earth total? Probably. We don't know, but we can approximate, right? And when I checked, it was like 200 billion. Okay, think about this. 200 billion people. None of these people have had the same exact experience as the other, right? It's like, oh, all these people went through one similar event. But yeah, that's one moment in an entire, like, what, 100 years or maybe 30 years, depending on what area you're living in for life expectancy. 200 billion people, that is a really large amount of unique experiences that have been had on this planet. Now let's compound that with, like, how many dogs have ever existed on this planet? And how many unique experiences have these dogs had? Now let's throw in the cats. And let's throw in the fish and the chickens and the cows and the eagles and the hawks and the caterpillars and the snakes and the rabbits and the basil plants and the trees, right? Should I keep going? Or are you getting the point yet? The dinosaurs, right? Oh, the rocks, you know, the coral, the dolphins, the whales. How many trillions and gajillions of life has existed on this planet in the millions and millions of years it's existed, right? What is God? God is experiencing infinity. Is literally a force having the experience of infinity. Why do we always come up with new things to enjoy. Because we experienced something. We got it. It's novelty. Novelty is infinity. We didn't come here as God. We didn't create this for stagnancy. But we did create stagnancy because that's part of infinity too. What is infinite? Infinite is everything. It's everything. And it's all part of God. So accept it. Accept that. And you will not suffer another day in your life. I'll tell you what. That's all I gotta say. Ek Onkar. One infinite creator. Sat Nam. His name is truth. Right? That's Gurumukhi. And that's how we praise the infinite and the Kundalini Yoga lineage. Sat Nam. Good night. I was gonna pray, but my other hand's holding the phone. Adios.